So two other questions related to content came in a part of the test that was about gerrymandering and what that was. And one of the things that threw my students for a loop, most of them are juniors and haven't taken the U.S. history course. It would have given them some background on gerrymandering and what it is. But even if they hadn't taken that material, if we'd read closely, you should still be able to get to the correct answers. But question 18 asks which choice best completes the description of the purpose of gerrymandering? And this is one of those strange questions where, um, purpose is something that's usually tested in the reading comprehension part of the SAT, but it also fits here because it's all about whether or not a sentence should or should not be there. So let's analyze this. As the below graphic shows, gerrymandering can turn voters against some of the legislative bodies in their state. But looking at the chart below, these charts don't actually support that argument right there. And the first question you have to ask yourself is, does this phrase fit? If you believe this phrase fits, then you would pick A. But you know they underlined it for a purpose and that you need to scrutinize this specific phrase anyway. So let's just assume we're not sure yet. But we know that this didn't quite support what it said in the phrase. But let's test answer B, a series of political factions against one another. So gerrymandering can turn a series of political factions against each other. That doesn't quite fit, and it certainly doesn't explain what was going on and match what was in the rest of the article. So B, we can eliminate. So then following along, and this is also why you've got to read the article. As below, the graphic shows gerrymandering can turn elections into long processes with delayed results. This is an answer that is not believable given the context of the article, so we can eliminate that, which then leaves us with either A, or which is no change, or D, this answer. So let's read it. As the below graphic shows, gerrymandering can turn electoral disadvantages into electoral advantages. That flows very nicely, and it also matches the content of the actual gerrymandering explained graphic here, which is why D is the best answer. So that is how you know that first you should test this. This doesn't match with what was going on in the context of the article. It probably doesn't belong there, which is why you would eliminate no change. And then you have to test to see which of those things are and if it matches the content of the things around it. That also then brings us to question 19. Reading this chart was very difficult. And yeah, I own my part of it because it wasn't scanned as well as it could have. But the only answer that's believable here is the third one, and that's D, that 60% light gray voters can become 60% dark gray voters in districts. And that's because this one accurately reflects the information in the article. Um, but once again, being able to, go, well, what conclusion does this reach? In addition to seeing the dots there, the statistics that are listed there show you that consequence D is the case in that. So those are two other content related questions and really had to do with A, did you understand the basic premise of the text around it? And then you can figure out which is the best answer. And then the other part is you can infer which graph fits best based upon your comprehension of the article, which will allow you to reason deductively down to D as being the best answer.